Ian, you have officially one game under your belt from your senior season against Portland State, and the understandable fan reaction is, "Well, how come BYU struggled? What happened?" Like, what have you seen in film that makes you feel confident that you can compete with LSU moving forward?
I mean, we watched film and we felt like the O-line had a pretty decent game. I mean, we had a couple mental mistakes as far as the penalties, but other than that, without those penalties, we rushed for 220 plus yards. So, I mean, we felt like we were on our blocks. Obviously, we can improve, but we don't need to start, pressing the panic button yet. So.
Has anyone told you look like the Reynolds boys?
I've heard that probably 5,000 times since I've been up here.
Those are good-looking dudes, though. Yeah. So that's yeah. You're a senior. You transferred from SUU, grad transfer. Now it's year 2. How has this year maybe been different than last year for you?
I mean, I'm much more comfortable in the offense. I'd say that's the first thing. More comfortable with the guys. So I mean, I guess I'd start there. Just comfort level.
What does that mean? I mean, how does that translate onto the field?
I mean, a new offense, learning a new system takes time. I mean, people expect you to learn as quick as you can, but I mean, I was in a spread at SUU, then coming up here pro style, so you have to learn, different footworks and things like that. So,
how different is Ed Lamb when he's not the head coach versus maybe the assistant head coach?
He's not quite. He doesn't seem quite as stressed. I'll start with that. He's a little more relaxed at BYU, joking around a little bit more, but I mean, he's still the same Ed Lamb, very detailed oriented. So
if you had to say Mike Empey's, I mean, he's your offensive line coach, if he had like a catchphrase or something that you feel like you will take with you the rest of your life, what would it be? Yeah,
Coach Empey, he's always preaching consistency. I'll say that. That's kind of what he always harps on, because I mean, O-line, you could have 99% of your plays are great, but if you have one bad play, you could have a sack, whatever. So I think Empey, the thing he always tries to instill in us is definitely consistency.
You don't control whether the pass is good and caught or whatever, but to some degree you control the success of the offense. So how do you guys gauge success as an O-line?
I mean, in the run game, we like to look at yards per carry. And then in the pass game, I mean, just how much time he has. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Do you have a certain amount of time that you're trying to get?
I mean, as long as we need. We try to get at least 4 seconds, but we start there, but as long as you need.
Yeah, 4 seconds is ambitious.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, that'd be a high number.
Yeah.
You have played against an SEC defensive front, Mississippi State last year. How much do you draw upon that game and that style of play to prepare for LSU?
I mean, they're just big physical guys. I mean, we didn't play a defensive line like that last year except Mississippi State. So, I mean, just big physical guys, but it's nice to know we've done it before.
There's been a lot of discussion this week where the game's being played. How have you guys avoided having that as a distraction? Because you're going to play LSU in a dome, NFL stadium, just different setting.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, as far as the players, I feel like we haven't worried about it at all. I've probably gotten 1,000 texts from family members trying to plan travel and stuff. But as far as players, it hasn't been too big of a deal.
What's that like for you as a player to go into an historic NFL venue and play an opponent like that?
I mean, it's always fun. It's kind of why you play the game. You want to play against the best. Yeah, you stack up, and then playing in the NFL stadiums, that's always fun. So,
how do you feel about the matchup? Because this is an amazing opportunity for BYU to play a program like LSU.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see, like I just said, how you stack up against the best. So, I mean, good opportunity.
BYU right now listed as a 16-point underdog. Is that an advantage for you guys if the expectations, I guess, nationwide are set at that level?
I mean, honestly, I know like a lot of the fans and people think about that stuff, but honestly, the players, you don't really look at that kind of stuff. You just focus on, your game plan for the week, practice. And like, I know it sounds cliche, but honestly, the players, the team, we don't talk about that. Like, honestly, I didn't know until you just told me. So.
Do you prefer to be an underdog?
Honestly, don't
care. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kalani Sitake said that he had to remind the team in the locker room after the game, "Hey, you won." Yeah. At what point did you guys kind of get over the Portland State game, or is it carrying into your preparation?
I mean, honestly, when Sitake said that, I think everyone kind of relaxed a little bit because I mean, after the game in the locker room, it was a little depressed in there. But I mean, this week we've practiced a lot more physical with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, so it's carried into the week. But once Sitake said that, I think everyone kind of relaxed a little bit.
What was the best thing that the Portland State game taught you as a team?
That's a good question. I think what we learned is that we need to, no matter the opponent, we need to bring it. I think it's Portland State, we probably relaxed a little bit. You guys probably felt it was hot, not a ton of fans, So I think what we learned is we got to bring it every day.
How hot was it on the field? Because we heard 108, but I mean, what was it like with pads on?
I mean, it was very hot, and our jerseys are kind of thick. They're not the nice tight, you know. But so it's pretty hot.
When you look at the first month of the season, per se, how do you not get overwhelmed with week to week to week between LSU, Utah, Wisconsin?
Honestly, another sports cliche, but I think you just take it week by week. Like, we don't look forward. I mean, like, we didn't talk about LSU all of Portland State week. We haven't talked about Utah all this week. You know, I think you just focus on your opponent, your game plan, try to execute.
All right, Keyan, it's great to talk to you. Part of TNT, right?
TNT.
Tooney, Keyan,
and Tijon.
And Tijon.
So it would have to be
with your
Keyan,
last
Norman,
name. Yeah.
Tooney.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
It works.
yeah. That's a Greg Wrubell thing. So
It's
anyway.
great. It's great. We love it. We love it.
So cool.
Thanks,
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 guys.
Keyan.
Yep.